Hey everyone, Happy New Year to you all. I hope you had as reasonably good a Christmas and New Year as you could, given probably restrictions on what you could do in most of your areas. Okay, so this video today, as you probably guess from the title, is going to explain what I did basically after I graduated the Couch to 5K up until the end of December 2020. If you haven't watched it already, I would suggest that you go back and watch the video about how I got into running and my Couch to 5K, because it will probably make a bit more sense. And then come back. So let's crack on. So it was 24th or 27th of July, around then, that I finished Couch to 5K. I did a 5K. That took me around 43 minutes to do, but I did it, and that was the end of it. So then I was like, well, what do I do now? So I decided I was just going to basically keep going, doing 5Ks for 3 times a week. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, because that's when I used to do my Couch to 5K runs. First thing in the morning, get up, out the door, boom, boom, boom. I did that for a while, and I got naturally a bit quicker. I then started to do a little bit of trail running as well. So I bought some trail running shoes and I went for a run in those woods 5 minutes down the road from me. That's good. There's some hills and, you know, grass, pathways, gravel. So I really enjoy that, actually, especially in the summer. Get the shade from the trees as well, rather than just, you know, running around on hot tarmac all the time. And I really enjoyed that as well. And I actually found that running in the woods, A, it was more interesting, and B, the hills and everything, it increased my fitness. Now, I did have to stop at times and walk for a bit, and I think there's a lot of stigma attached, especially when you're starting off, about walking when you're out for a run, because you should be running. And it swings and roundabouts, really. I've got a friend who, he still does run walk, with his wife. She's learning how to run, but, you know, they're getting pretty quick. And, you know, rather than just pootling along at a really slow jog, you know, it's quite good actually to, you know, run a bit faster maybe, and then walk for a little bit, and then you gradually just reduce the walking. So don't ever be afraid of having to walk. But again, that's something I'll probably deal with in another video. So I did that, and I noticed my fitness going up quite a lot, which was really good. Then I thought to myself, do you know what? I think 5K, at first I was really like, just want to do 5K. I want to do 5K, you go out, it's about half an hour, you know, and you're done. It's really, you know, and that's the end of it. So I thought, after a while I thought, do you know what? I'd quite like to do more. I would like to run further. So I started increasing my 1 run a week by half a kilometre every week. I did that for a while, and that was fine. I got up to about 7-8k, and then I thought, do you know what? I'm doing all right at this. And then I decided, when the ballot opened for the London Marathon, that I was going to go for it. So I entered the ballot for the London Marathon, which is going to be October this year now. And I figured that I'll have plenty of time to deal with that and to train up for that. But I'd quite like to do a half marathon in between. So, you know, a few weeks went by after I'd entered the London Marathon. And then I got an email from the same people, the organisers that do the London Marathon, saying, oh, we'll try to look at our other events. And there's the Vitality Big Half, which is kind of basically the London Half Marathon. So it's part of the same route. And that was in April of this year. And I thought, you know what, I went to that. So I entered in for a... Sorry, I'm just going to close the curtains because the sun's getting in my eyes. That's better. So I entered the Vitality Big Half, paid my entry fee and everything, and without even being able to run 10k at this point. So I thought, well, I better hurry up and increase my distance. So then I thought to myself, do you know what, if 8k they say normally about 10% a week should increase by. And I thought, you know what, sod it. 8k, I can go to 10. So I just went out one morning and I did 10k like that. Took me about an hour 15, hour and 20 minutes if I remember correctly. That was fine. It was alright. I was a bit knackered by the end of it. I think I had a caffeine gel that I used halfway through. Just because, you know, a lot of people say you don't need to fuel up for 10Ks, but being quite overweight, I use a lot more energy and I was flagging a bit. So that seemed to help. Again, could be psychological, who knows. So this was around August, September time, I think. So I got 10k under my belt. I was really pleased with that. And then at that point, I joined a running club. So, well, I didn't realise it was a running club at the time. Basically, the town where I live, it was just called Running Colchester. And I just thought it was a Facebook group about running in Colchester, but it turned out it was actually a club, but one that you don't pay any membership or anything. It is all properly registered with British Athletics, but it's quite informal, and you know, get a t-shirt if you want, but you don't have to, and just, you know, turn up and run. So they were doing group runs, and obviously because of COVID, it had to be quite organised. You had to sign up and log on your details, and you could only have a maximum of, you have a run leader, and then you can have a certain amount of people per run leader and all that stuff. So it was all fully COVID secure, fully compliant. So I did that for a little while. So again, they were running in the woods, actually the woods that's near me. So that was quite good. I was the slowest one there, but you know, it was good fun. And everyone's really friendly and nice. There was another guy from the club, he lives just down the road from me, and we started then running a few times a week together, which was quite good as well, because we were running at a similar pace. And you know, he was able to teach me a few things. He showed me, like, we started doing stuff like fartlek sessions, which is like speed work and all that sort of stuff. So that was really good. So it all of a sudden it kind of just exploded from me just doing 5k 3 days a week to me entering for the London Marathon, signing up for a half marathon, increasing my pace to 10, increasing my distance to 10k, taking on running in the woods, and joining a running club and doing social runs. So I don't know, I just really enjoyed it all. I absolutely loved it, and I just well and truly caught the bug. I'm just going to turn the light on because it suddenly got really dark in here. Sorry about that. And I just suddenly got the bug, and that was it. So I was like, right. And then I started to set my sights, because I was aware of speed work and stuff like that as well. So I did quite a lot of that, increasing the run. And then, without going into too much detail, I had quite a lot of personal stuff go on, end of November and, well, all of December, really, which meant I was not able to get out and run, basically. So it kind of all went by the wayside a bit, unfortunately. So my distance really dropped down. I did manage to get out every so often, and I would occasionally go out. So I started working on my speed instead, because I could go out for maybe half an hour or so. And, you know, gradually over the months, my 5k pace got quicker. But it was always, I was absolutely determined to get my 5k time under half an hour. And it just seemed, no matter how much I did, I was doing speed sessions, I was doing long runs, I just couldn't break that 30-minute barrier. I was like 31, 30 odd, and at one point I got to 30 minutes and 6 seconds, and I was absolutely gutted. And I don't know what, I just couldn't, I just flagged, and I just couldn't do it. And the route I normally run, it's like a 5k circuit. Rammer has, it kind of goes around a big block and round, and it's a bit hilly. There's slopes and there's inclines, because I've always thought to myself, if I avoided hills and not massive hills, but they are, you know, it's a bit of an incline. If I just only ever ran on flat surfaces, I think, you know, it's better to do it early and be used to it than to run on flat for months and then, or even years, and then suddenly if you go into a competition or a race, you're suddenly faced with these inclines that you're not used to. But anyway, so yeah, there's quite a bit. So I decided one day, I think I hadn't been well for a few weeks, and I had a couple of weeks off running. And in hindsight, I was overtraining. I was trying too hard. My efforts were too hard for my runs, and I was running too much. At one point, I was running 5 times a week, quite intense most of the time. So I was like, so I came out and I decided as well to run this circuit the other way around, just for a laugh. And I did it, and I got really close to my target. And I was like, right, okay, that was the 30 minutes 6 seconds time actually. I thought, right, do it. So I went out one day, and I was determined, like, I'm going to do this, and I did it. Went round 29, 24 or something it was, or 29, 40. It was well under half an hour. It was like 29:30, I think, or something. And since then I've increased it, so my fastest 5k time now is 29:20, which is pretty good for a fat bloke who's 40 now. Yeah, so that's it really. So I've stagnated a little bit this week. Things are getting a bit better, so I've started to increase my pace now. But I'm gonna look at kind of my goals for this year in a separate video, I think. But that's it really. So yeah, it like I said, it just completely snowballed. A few months after that 5k, just went to 10k, joining a running club, hills, and I think the key with it is I'm a very goal orientated person, and I love to be able to monitor my progress. And I think it harps back to the days where I used to play video games. I don't get time anymore. Where you have a character and you level that character up, and they get stronger and they get more hit points and their spells get better, and it's a bit like that. I felt like I was leveling up myself, and I'm not for one a fan of, never used to be a fan of games where you just sort of bumbled along and your character didn't really improve or do anything. And for me, it's not what I wanted to do with my running. The main thing is to enjoy it, but for me, part of that enjoyment is seeing progress and setting goals. So that would be my suggestion here, because the Couch to 5k is very goal orientated. This is what we do, and it's quite easy to feel lost once you complete it. So I really think, and there's some really good videos. The running channel's got a really good one about where to go after Couch to 5k. So that's definitely worth a watch as well. But for me, I just found variety, run in the woods, do different routes, try and run with people if you can, because it just keeps it all interesting and stops you getting bored, which I think I would have got bored had I not done that. So that's it for me so far. I'm gonna sign off now, and I'll put up another video in a little while about this year, what I'm aiming to do. I want to do another few videos as well, going over maybe some tips to get started when you are a fat runner like me. And I was really absolutely stoked that someone on my last video commented that they were listening to my video just before they went out and did their Couch to 5k first ever session. So well done. That was awesome. That absolutely made my day reading that comment. So let me know how you get on, please. Fantastic. So yeah, big shout out to Jan on that one. Well done. That's the hardest thing. The hardest run is the first one. By far. It will get easier, even though it gets harder. I know that sounds daft, but well done, Jan. I'm really proud of you. Well done. You should be proud of yourself. Yeah. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and hopefully you shall see me soon. Cheers, everyone. Take care.